Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me back again this month. Um, Today is the full moon, so that's what Anne was referring to. It is our first full moon of 2025. And not only in yoga philosophy, but also many people practice different rituals for full moon. But some that you would see with us who practice yoga, or yogis, is perhaps setting an intention for the cycle, the moon cycle. So from this full moon to the next full moon. One of the wonderful things that happens with full moons is releasing. So we'll start today with one of the energy exercises that we did way back when I did the Reiki presentation. I might have done it here too. So we'll start out with that. And at the end, we'll do a meditation called Takata, which is a way to honor the full moon if you can't get out there, which for those that weren't on, I'm in Albany, New York, so I will not be out moon bathing tonight. It is way too cold. Perhaps I'll let it shine in through the window, but that's about it. So depending on where you are, you might be in or out. So before we start our practice, I have blocks because we are going to do Ardha Chandrasana. It's a half moon pose, and we can do it standing or using blocks or sitting. So I do have blocks with me. And I think I mentioned this before. Sometimes it's nice to use an essential oil to start a practice. And today I'm using lavender because lavender is a great oil to use if you want to be calm, but also as you meditate to help release things. So I'm using some lavender, and we will get started. So coming to center today, just move this out of the way, I'm sorry. Coming to center. Let's just arrive at the practice today. And whatever that might look like, we're not that far into 2025. We have different challenges that we may be facing. Just yourself arrive exactly as you are. And no judgment for how you get here today. You're here. It doesn't matter if you just sit in your chair, close your eyes. You've given yourself this time just to be with whatever's happening in this moment. So if you'd like to soften your eyes or gaze down at the floor, I invite you to take a full, deep belly breath in. So as you inhale, feel your belly expanding. And then as you exhale, let it soften. Inhale, belly expanding. Exhale, softening. We'll take one more deep, full breath, inhaling. And as you exhale, release. And to start off, I mentioned that we'll do just a short energy exercise. You can do it standing or sitting. And this is the shaking of the bones. So shaking of the bones was the one where we're just shaking everything out to get that energy moving right through our system. So you can sit, you can stand, you can dance, you can do whatever you want here. Just let's get our energy moving. And if you don't want to put a lot of energy into this, then blink your eyes a couple of times. Just move it around. And then let yourself slowly settle back in. Soften your eyes once again. And notice if you feel any sensation throughout your body. The sensation of energy moving, life force, our prana. And with that, I invite you to think about the full moon, the light shining down, the female energy, healing light. And if you would like to set an intention for this cycle of the full moon, I invite you to do so. Or just take a moment and breathe. And we'll begin our practice with a salutation, releasing our hands down. We'll take an inhale, sweeping all the way up. Remembering if you need, your arms can stay wherever it's comfortable. And as we exhale, let's just release our hands to begin right at our sides. Inhale, pressing up. And exhale, folding, that's hinging right at the hips where your thigh meets your hip bone. Inhale, pressing up. Hinging once again. And then inhale, pressing up, sweeping your hands up towards the sky, up towards the moon, with hands coming together through heart center. We'll release our hands, take an inhale, sweeping up once again. We'll come into our first pose, honoring the moon, which is seated or standing crescent pose. So dropping your left hand, right hand is up in the air or wherever it's comfortable. We're just going to arc over to the left. So this is, as I said, either seated or standing crescent pose. Breathing. And then bringing your left hand back to center, releasing your right and arching over. Inhale back to center, releasing your hands and twisting over to the left. So your right hand can go on your thigh, other hand can go on the chair. And once you get there, let's take an inhale and imagine that your head, the crown of your head is reaching up. And as you exhale, you twist through the waist. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, twisting. And once you've come to that place of a nice twist, but not overly exerting, take a few breaths here. Think of this twist as wringing out anything that's not serving you. As I said, the moon, full moon is a wonderful time to really think about what we can release. And on your inhale, floating back through center, raising your hands up. And as you exhale, let's come over towards the right. Taking that inhale to extend. Exhale to twist. Inhale. And exhale. And once again, thinking about anything maybe you brought with you from 2024. You're wondering why. So let it release, let it rain right out. Take an inhale, come back to center, releasing your hands to your thighs for seated cat-cow. We'll take another inhale here, letting your heart center come forward as you gaze up towards the sky. And then as you release into the exhale, curl, letting your chin come down, back is rounded. Inhale, opening into cat. Let your heart center come open. And as you exhale, curling. Go back and forth a few times on your own, because this is one pose that I actually do every day, but your movement is all based on how you're feeling that day. So some days you can really open up and curl, and other days it's yep, we're just going to do a little move here. And then the next time you come through center, sitting up, breathing. And on your next inhale breath, let your chin come over to the left. Take an inhale and exhale, moving over to the right. Just going back and forth. And let this be a nice slow motion. Breathing. And then the next time you come back through center, we'll do some releasing of our neck forward. And then bring your head up straight, and only if it's comfortable with your shoulders down, you can let your neck open up, chin up. You don't have to let your head go back far to get that beautiful stretch. Chin coming down towards your chest, and then up towards the sky. Chin coming down. And once more, chin up. And release. We'll sweep our arms up to the sky. And coming into cactus or goddess arms. So as you're here, and once again, if you need to, hands can go here or here. See if you can squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then bringing your forearms together around your back again. You can even let your chin come down. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we come within. Inhale, opening. Exhale. We'll do one more here. Inhale to open, hold. Feel your heart just open, ready to receive. And then taking in that energy, bringing your forearms and bringing it all right in. Coming back up to neutral and releasing. Your hands can come to heart center. Taking an inhale and an exhale. And releasing. So we're going to get some movement in our legs here. Extending your left leg. And if people have straps, sometimes a strap is nice to use in this position. I'll show you with the strap, but otherwise you can bring your foot up on your heel. We're just gonna tap your toes. So you want to get some movement in your ankle. And that's what we're trying to do here. Just tapping that toe. And this is actually an easy way, because I know a couple people mentioned neuropathy, that you can get some just light action in the bottom of your foot without any kind of unnecessary pressure and release. And we'll come to the opposite side. So again, just lightly tapping. Because we don't work our ankles that much in whatever kind of movement you do. So it's a nice little movement here. And release. Now we'll bring our leg up. So bring your knee up. We're just going to extend and bend. Extend and bend. So I'm not sure here in Albany we're going to see the moon tonight because it is very cloudy. And release that side. Bring the other leg up. Extend and bend. But if you practice any moon rituals, even moon bathing, the energy is there. So it's really the moon's energy that we want to have around us. Extend and bend and release. And coming back to mountain pose. Feet on the floor. You're going to take an inhale, sweeping up and come through a full salutation. Exhale, hands can either be at your sides or your shins. Coming up with a nice straight back. So think of nice straight back. And then as you exhale, allowing yourself to fold forward. Sweeping your hands all the way up to the sky. And bringing hands to heart center and Anjali Mudra. I'll show variation on this. So inhale. You can't do all that bending. Exhale, hands come to the thighs. Let yourself fold forward here. Pressing back up and sweeping all the way up. Hands to heart center, and I will show it standing. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding forward. Bringing hands to shin, nice straight back. Releasing into the forward fold and bending your knees to sweep all the way up. With hands at heart center. Standing or seated, we're going to inhale, sweeping up. Interlacing your fingers, pressing up to the sky. Slowly twisting over towards the left. Again, this can be seated or standing. Moving back to center and twisting over to the right. Releasing your hands and bringing them to Anjali Mudra. We'll come into another variation on a sun salutation. And we're doing the sun salutation because it is daytime and it's an offering to the moon. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding forward wherever it was comfortable, same as before. Coming into a straight back. releasing. On your next inhale, bringing your left knee up, releasing your right knee up, releasing into forward fold, sweeping all the way up with hands at heart center. We'll do that again. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding forward, coming into a straight, flat back, and release, bringing your left knee up, releasing right knee up, releasing into forward fold, sweeping all the way up, nice and slow, gathering all the energy around you, bringing your hands together, and bringing that energy to heart center. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Inhale and exhale. So we are going to come into crescent pose. We did it seated, and this is Anjanasana. And I'll show a couple ways to do this. I'll first show if you're standing, and you might want to use your chair here. Your both feet are forward. Back foot can be up or off the mat. You can stay right here, or your hands can be raised towards the sky. Crescent pose standing. Crescent pose seated is a couple of ways you can do this. So you want to turn sideways. If you can bring your back leg back comfortably, you can bring it back. If it's too much, especially if you're having any back issues, then just bring it to the side, like mine is, knee bent. So whichever is most comfortable. So let's everyone get into your crescent pose. And before we think about raising our arms or anything, make sure your back leg is straight, that's nice and strong. We're all pressing into our front leg, feeling the energy. Energy moving down into the earth. And then you can sweep your arms up to the sky. Again, if this is not comfortable, you can go to goalpost arms, or hands at heart center. Breathing. Taking a moment, imagining once again that the moon, she's sending down her healing energy. The universal energy surrounding all of us. And then slowly releasing and turning on your chair forward to me. If you're standing, you can just stay standing because we're going to come into five-pointed star. So you can see there's a little star element to today. You're just going to turn your feet out, whether you're seated or standing. If you're standing, you're going to raise your arms up, five-pointed star. Seated, you're doing the same thing. And again, you know your options for your arms. Breathing. And slowly letting hands come to heart center. We're going to turn to go the opposite way. So whichever version you were doing of crescent pose, I'll stand for this one. So if you're standing, both feet are facing forward. Heel can be up or down based on your stability, but all of us, we have that energy going into the earth, coming down from that front leg. So you can stay right here, hands at heart center, wherever your arms might need to be, or raise them up. Back leg nice and strong. Breathing. Taking an inhale and exhale and slowly releasing out of that. Coming back to center. And breathe. So if everyone wants to come back to your chair, we can turn our feet out and sweep your arms up to the sky. Taking your left arm, bringing it down on your left thigh. We're just gonna arch over. So another way of honoring full moon in another variation of seated crescent pose. Sweeping back up to center and coming over to the opposite side. Breathing. Taking inhale, sweeping up, and bringing hands to heart center once again. We're going to come into another variation on that crescent pose, so either standing or seated. Seated, remember your leg can be in either position. And this is stargazer pose. I'll show standing first, and we'll be sweeping our arms up, but you're going to be reaching back, grabbing wherever you can. It might be fingertips, wrists, and just gazing up. Imagine you're gazing up at the sky, the full moon, the stars. Seated can be opening or leg here. Just breathing and opening. Really let your imagination play with you in this pose. Seeing the stars, the moon. Releasing, coming back to center. Seated or standing, 5-pointed star. Reaching. And then releasing your hands, coming over to the opposite side. I'll show with my legs this way this time. We'll sweep arms up, taking, grasping wherever it's comfortable to hold, gazing up. Imagining all the showering light cascading around, bringing energy, sharing light. Slowly releasing, coming back to center. This time, we'll bring our hands onto our thighs. We'll give our spine a little break here. So on the inhale, taking your left shoulder coming right down, coming back through center, right shoulder over. And this is another one. We'll all be in a different place here, depending on how you're feeling. So remember to breathe. The one thing with yoga is integrating that breath with our movement, even if our movement is different one day to the next. It's the breath. And then we'll come back to center the next time you go through center. Bringing your feet forward. Let's ground ourselves again back in mountain pose, so feet are pressing into the earth. Hands can be resting on your thighs or at heart center. If you're standing, palms can be open. And breathe. And release. So the next pose we are going to do is Ardha Chandrasana. It's half moon pose, and I have multiple variations how to do this because it is a standing balancing pose. So I'm going to start by showing how to do it on the chair. So I'll start with my right foot in front, knee bent. And you can do this a couple of ways. If you have blocks and you want to use blocks, your right hand can come down. Your left leg can be in a couple of positions. It can be straight out like this, or you can bend into those blocks and raise it up a little. That's one variation. But you're going to get the same benefit. I always say you're going to get that same benefit. So if the leg is down, if your hand is on your thigh, you're getting that nice stretch. So hand can be on your thigh, on a block, leg can be down, leg can be up. If you want to try it standing, oh, my block's out of the way here. You can come to the chair, hold on. Arm can be on the back, and you can just kickstand your leg. Arm can be raised. So make sure everyone can see. I'm so small on this. So that's one way. You can lift your leg. Your hand can be down on the chair. So really think about your stability today. You could say no shame in sitting and doing it because it's the same benefit. So release whichever one you were trying. And let's do a little movement. Shake it all out because we have another side. And we'll come to the other side. So I'm going to sit. And then I'll stand up. So pressing in. Take an inhale. Extend out the right leg. And you can stay here or raise that right arm. You can bring your hands to blocks, still keeping the leg down, or raise it up a little. Standing. Foot is down. Leg can be kickstand right here, is just perfect. Arm can go up. Leg can go up. If you do choose to bring your leg up, flex that foot. And then we'll all slowly release. Coming back to our chairs and taking an inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do a couple of circles around here. So all the poses we did were to really open us up. And going the opposite direction. And whether we're seated in a chair or using any of the variations, I had one of my teachers say, and I think I shared this, it's all about our intention. Coming back to center. And we'll take an inhale here. And bring up our right leg and cross it across your left knee for figure 4 or seated pigeon. We want to protect that knee, so lightly flex the foot crossed over. Imagine you're extending up and start to do that hinge at the waist or at the hip. Come a little forward and you feel a little bit more of a stretch. Let yourself come back up to seated. And then folding forward again. Back up to seated. And take a couple of ankle circles here. And release. And then we'll bring the opposite leg up. And I don't know about you, but I have one hip that's tighter than the other, so that's the hip. Flex that foot lightly. Take an inhale to extend. Exhale to fold forward. Pressing up to extend. Folding forward. Take a couple of breaths here. Releasing and letting your ankle just twist around both ways. You can release that. Let's move our wrists. And if you want to open and close your fingers. And then release. And start to find a comfortable position. So I'm going to come into a short pranayama, which is called Chandra Bandhasana. And this pranayama is actually for the cooling feminine side, the yin side of yoga, and most associated with the moon. So if in any way you feel as though you can't go through this pranayama, just inhale and exhale. Because really, we're just trying to work our breath. Finger, your thumb, and your ring finger, and I hold my other 2 fingers down, so if you can see that. We're going to inhale through the left nostril while you're lightly holding the right one. Hold the left one, let the breath come out the right. Hold the right. So you're inhaling left, exhaling right. And as this is a cooling breath, which I know it's cold in many of where we are, but it is a moon breath. So I did want to share it with you to ground. Let's take 2 full inhales and exhales before we do anything. So taking a full inhale and exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, lightly close off your right nostril. Now inhale through your left nostril. Seal that off and exhale through your right. Seal your right, inhale left. Seal left, exhale right. Seal right, inhale left. Seal left, exhale right. And I'll let you do a few on your own. Next time you release out your right, and release Chandra, Bandhana. Come back to your normal breathing. And move out of the way here. You'll see some candles burning on my chair. If you can't get out and moon gaze, or there's no moon to be gazed, this is called Trakata. It is a candle gazing short meditation. So all you need to do is just gaze at the candle. And imagine that the light is shining on you just as the moon would shine on you. You continue to gaze, listening to advice from the moon. Live life to the fullest. Be someone to look up to. Don't be fazed by difficulties. Take time to reflect. Enjoy a little space. Honor the cycles of nature and light up the night. And you can release, bringing hands to heart center. Practice today. Peace, peace, peace. Shantae, peace. Namaste. Thank you.